Right, welcome to another podcast. Today we've got Ryan Turt from Vanarchy Customs from Newquay. Welcome to the podcast, Ryan.
Bad, you all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. Do you just want to sort of tell everybody at home sort of where you're from, you know, your background, where you grew up, what your interests were, to sort of where you are now on your journey?
Yeah, man. Well, basically, I got brought up by a Formula One mechanic, so I've always been involved in motors and some sort of sports and things like that. Yep. Went into mechanics, got bored of it, got out of it, went back into it, and yeah, I was a scaffolder for 4 years. So yeah, just it's always been an interest. I've always been in and out of the trade. Went for a car parts company, couldn't deal with the stress. Went back to mechanics, and then got offered a job at a camper firm. So went and worked for them. Came to an end. It just didn't work out. So when we decided we were going to move, we came down to Cornwall, and started up for ourselves.
So where were you working when you were working for the camper conversions company? Where was that?
I'd rather not comment. No, I used to work for.
You don't have to do the name. You don't have to say the name, but you know where. I mean,
we were down in West Sussex. I was down in West Sussex. We used to live down near Brighton, so yeah, we moved down from there. We only moved in July 2020.
Right.
Been coming down to Cornwall for many years, and just decided that's it. We've had enough. To move down, and it was actually my wife that wanted me to start the business. Rather than starting for someone else, she wanted me to work for myself. So, yeah, it was just, I needed a change. I didn't want to work for an employer anymore. Got messed about a few times, and it just made sense to throw everything at something and try and make a go of it. And at the moment, we seem all right. We're doing all right at the moment. Yeah.
Good. So I know we spoke off camera. You started in July last year, just after lockdown 1.
Yep.
Is that when you moved down as well?
Yeah, well, when the first lockdown released on the 4th, I had 2 Luton vans, and both our vans loaded up, and we'd found a house to rent and a job for my wife and a workshop, and literally just moved down here.
Wow.
And at the moment, we're still renting the house and the workshop, and the eventual plan is buy somewhere down here, sell our house and buy down here. So yeah, it was a huge step. Yeah, it was planned. We've been planning it for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And then just decided, look, we're just going to do it. So we found somewhere to rent and just moved. Awesome. And I don't look back. No. I had to go back there a few weeks ago, and I just said to my wife, I don't miss it. So, yeah. Cornwall's the best place in the country, Mum.
I think it's just because I think I've worked down there, but I've never been there on holiday.
No,
never.
Oh, you'll have to come down.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, Monday night, I took my 8-year-old, and we were out bodyboarding in the evening on the beach in the sand. No one was there. I think we were there about 6 o'clock in the evening, catching some waves in, and then had a barbecue on the beach. No, yeah, man. That's one of the reasons we moved here. We like the way of living. It was to get more work-life balance rather than just working all the time and not really getting much out of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got kids and dogs and bits like that. So, yeah, it's just a nice place to be.
It is, and I think that resonates probably a lot with people that work for themselves, and it's very difficult, and I find it very difficult, and I haven't passed having that balance. And I think that the lockdown for me, what a big catalyst in making me sort of sit back and think, I'm doing too much here. There's no.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got to sort of take a step back, I think, and reconnect.
Well, you've got no life otherwise, have you? You're just working all the time, and what's the point earning all the money if you can't use it and can't enjoy it?
Yeah. No, I agree, because you know as well as working for yourself like I do, it's you don't switch off sometimes, and you're always sort of thinking, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? Am I doing this? And there's all these sort of questions in your mind, and sometimes I think it's just good to switch off, like you have done this week. I know we spoke off camera, and spend some sort of quality time with family.
Mate, my 8-year-old, you realise it when your 8-year-old pulls your diary away from you and goes, "Daddy, we're going out." Do you know what I mean? I come home and because I'm only a small business, so I don't have time to do everything during a work day. I don't have time to sit there doing quotes and invoicing and bits like that. So I do it in the evening. So yeah, it gets a bit much, but you just have to kind of put everything aside and just go, right, okay, well, I need to stop now. I'll worry about it tomorrow. And most things are, most people and most things are all right. You don't have to worry too much.
No.
People aren't really bothered as much as you think they are.
Yeah. I know we touched on this before, and I think I've touched on this in other podcasts as well, that if you're good at what you do, people will come. I think the law of attraction, I know me and Darren are big on this as well, the law of attraction in regards to, you do good things, you do a good job, people, them word of mouth jobs, it will come, it will happen. And I just think it's a fine balance sometimes in regards to going the extra mile. But I just think always trust your gut, always go with it, and 9 times out of 10,
exactly,
it does pay off.
Well, I mean, we're only small still, so we're still trying to get a reputation and bits like that. So, I do push the boat out a little bit on certain jobs, just to try and get the money in a bit more on that. But it's awkward. I'm not, like I said to you before, I'm not threatened by any other company around the area. If they're good at what they do, they get the work. I know what my quality's like, and if the work comes to me, then they've come to me for a reason.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the only way you can see it, really.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would have been nice to have been face to face, but with a fair few 100 mile apart.
Yeah, but then you could have gone for a bodyboard after.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what, we will definitely get together at some point, which should be good.
Yeah, man. 100%.
It'd be good to see you set up in your shop and that. So could you just sort of, to someone who and this into sales pitch, by the way, this is like to someone who's watching this and they go, well, what do you do if you could just explain in your business, what's your main part of your business? What type of work do you do? What sort of vehicles do you work on? Just give us a bit better understanding of Vanarchy Customs.
The company I used to work for, we only did T5s and 6s. So when we moved down here, we realised quite quickly that we needed to do a few different things. Yeah. So we aim more. We've only got a small workshop, and it's myself, my friend John, and my wife. That's it. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of room to do things. So full campers, we don't really get involved in at the moment. It's more day vans, surf vans, bits like that. So we do all the carpet lining, floors, curtains, spotlights, leisure batteries, styling kits. We've got a T5 in at the moment that's having Sportline spoilers and bars and coilovers and stuff like that. So it's making nice looking vans and making them just nice and comfy and a nice place to be in. Yeah. We've diversified a little bit. We've been doing, I've done a Peugeot partner 17 plate, because no one else would touch it. Just because people only do, well, a load of people down here, they just do Volkswagens. That's all they want to touch. So we did this partner. The guy does triathlons. So he wanted somewhere that was nice that he could sleep at night when he's been working his backside off. So yeah, I mean, he had like full insulation, sound deadening carpeting, leisure battery, bits like that. And I've got him coming in a couple of weeks, and we're doing a small unit for him. But I mean, as a rule, I don't normally get involved in pop tops and units just because they're a lot of hassle and I don't have the room to do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what happens in the future. At a later date, we might end up in a bigger workshop and be able to accommodate it. But at the moment, no, it's just making nice vans. Do you know what I mean? I've got more of a passion for it than it is a job. So I put my all into it and try and make it as if it was my own, so that they actually enjoy their vans.
Yeah.
Whereas unfortunately, there's people around that just think that they can throw a bit of carpet at it and it looks nice. And it's, to me, there's quite a lot more involved in it than that. You know, I'm sure you got your own van. I'm sure you'll agree. There's a bit more to it.
Yes.
You know,
I have attempted to do a bit of carpet lining myself.
Yeah.
And, I think I had most at spraying my hair at one point. You know, carpet floats down onto your head, and then your head stuck to carpet.
Well, see, I use a different style of carpet as well. I don't. A lot of companies use Veltrim, so it's the stuff I use is a little bit smoother, a little bit thinner, but it's just nicer to work with. But the problem is if you stick it to itself, it's sticky back. So you still spray all the metal work, but it's sticky back as well. And if it sticks to itself, it's normally game over, and that piece of carpet's ruined. So it's trying. Yeah, I mean, doing it with the Veltrim is fine because you can spray one surface, then spray the other, and it kind of you can work with it. This stuff, if it sticks to itself or sticks to your arm or something like that, it's game over. Rip it off, start again. But, you know, you get a nice finish out of it. And that's what I try and go for. It's always about the nice finish. It's got to look right. I'm quite OCD with it as well, so I can't let something go out if it's got creases in it or it doesn't look right. It's got to all work right.
I think you've got to be in that job because it's a finishing trade, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I've had a few customers come to me and they've had other people. One of my customers, he's got a mechanic that's done certain work for him, and he's asked me to strip stuff back and redo it because he just hasn't got the finishing touches. He just hasn't got that finesse just to finish things off. But then they're mechanics. You know, I've been a mechanic. I know exactly what they're like. You just get in, get it done, get out. You're not worried about keeping stuff nice and tidy and clean and things like that. You just do it.
No.
But it's a different trade, isn't it? It's a different trade.
It is. And I think with the type of stuff that you're doing, it's the stuff that's seen, isn't it? You can't hide anything. You can't hide anything. No,
exactly. You can't hide it behind anything because you are the finishing touch.
Yeah.
So if someone goes to a show or even to a supermarket and someone looks in their van, they open the door and they want it to look nice to show people.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want it to be. And even if you're sleeping in it, you wouldn't want to sleep in something that's got bits of carpet hanging off and it, you know, things that aren't right. You want it to be correct on how you want it to be. Yeah. And if as a customer, if you're paying for it, you expect to get it right.
Of course you do.
So it's, I mean, to me, like I say, it's just something I enjoy. I enjoy doing it. And that's why the wife just said, look, we'll just do what we can and we'll go out on our own. And bless her, she still works full time. She's a teacher. So, she teaches during the day. She works with special needs kids, so she teaches during the day, and then in the evening does paperwork and bits with me. And if we're not doing that, we're out and about.
Yeah.
You know, we're quite active. We like being out.
No, and there's no better place to live.
Exactly. We've got a workshop full of recreational stuff. You know, we've got the kayaks and the bikes and the boards and everything, and we try and use them as much as we can.
It's a way of life. Isn't it?
Dude, I've got a company sign on the back of my surfboard on my wall in the workshop.
I think I've seen that on one of your social posts.
Says it all, really, doesn't it? It's all about enjoying life. Do you know what I mean? You've got to. My view is you've got to earn the money to do what you want to do, but you've got to enjoy your life at the same time. And I've done too much work in the past where I work silly hours, don't spend time with my kids, don't spend time with my wife, and it burns you out.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I've taken a couple of days off this week to spend some time with the kids, just because if I don't, I'm never going to see them.
Yeah.
You know, and my two eldest, they've all grown up. One of them's already moved out, so it's
it's
hard.
I tell you what I did notice on on your socials this week was you had a bit of an open day. We all had down.
that was quite cool. My son's he's 20 now. He's at university down in Brighton.
Yeah.
And he's got quite severe Asperger's, so the way he does things is a little bit different.
I can.
And he loves fire spinning. He just finds a relax out of it. And he just said, "Oh, can I come down and do some fire spinning outside the workshop?" So it was a off the cuff thing, and he loved it. I had half the trading estate watching him at the same time. They're all standing back watching him.
I watched it. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. He normally does it down the beach and things, and he just loves doing it. So it was something that he wanted to do for us. So his mum recorded it just to do as a promotional. And that's what he wanted. And, exactly that. It's what he wanted. So we went, yeah, cool, just do it. Crack on. I did get paraffin all up the side of one of my vans, but, it's... we'll wash that off another day.
Listen, as long as they enjoyed it, that's the main thing. You guys did. It looked really good. I've got to say, as a talent.
Yeah, it's just something different. And it was quite ironic that my next door neighbour's nuclear fire. So he was standing back in the background with a fire extinguisher next to him. So yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was quite funny.
So, well, that's that again. Just going back, that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have fun.
Yeah. No, I think when I spoke to you a couple of months ago, I felt like we were on the sort of same page in regards to that, and aligned with just about how we live as lives and the outlook on things. And both of us, obviously, we work for ourselves. And so I think that's why I wanted you to come on podcasts, because I just thought, something, just coming together and we, me and Daz are always saying this, being together and sharing the same interests and promoting what we do. That's what it's all about. And I always think, going back again, you're stronger together, whoever you're working with. And to get you on here, I'm really chuffed you've joined us, pal. Honestly,
I appreciate it, dude. I'm just a normal person that. Well, I try to be normal, but it's what's normal at the end of the day. I try and be normal, but it's like other companies that we've worked with in the past and that over the last, 9-10 months now, we try and work with some of the smaller companies to kind of help them and promote them a little bit, and they do the same with us. I've just had some new workwear done, and the company that did it, they've put it all over their social media. And I think I'll put something up on ours as well. And it's helping each other, especially small companies.
Especially
it's hard
time. And
it's hard. Business is hard, and this has made it even worse. And like I said to you off camera, it's, we're doing all right. We're not mega busy, but we're busy enough to keep afloat. And as it starts to hopefully ease on the restrictions and stuff a bit more, then it might pick up a bit more.
I think
but there's a lot bigger companies that have lost out over COVID, and at the end of the day, man, if I'm still running, clearly I'm doing something right.
Exactly.
So it's
exactly. I mean,
hopefully it carries on.
You started in middle of a pandemic, so if you're still here now,
couldn't be the worst time to start it. But I needed to do something. I'm one of them people, I can't sit around. If I sit at home, I get bored, I get twitchy feet, I need to do something.
Yeah.
So that's why we go out a lot. Even if it's taking the dogs for a walk, we're always out because we get twitchy feet. And I needed to do something. And my wife said to me, look, you love doing it. You've got a passion for it. Just do it. If it doesn't work out, then you can go and work for a supermarket.
Exactly. But you never know unless you try.
Exactly.
And I think that's the
exactly
thing.
That.
You just got to get yourself out of your comfort zone and just try it. God, it doesn't matter. I mean, God, I think over the years, anybody who knows me, we've worked for ourselves and for a long time, and you try new things, you try different things. You think, let's have a go at this, and because you think this is doing all right, so let's try this, and then but you never know until you try, and I think it's like with Van and the podcast and filming the features. We didn't know what, how it'd be perceived, but we dip his toe in it and we try it. And, if people like it, they like it. If they want to watch it, they can watch it. I don't really get that some people write some really awful comments on some of the videos that aren't really that constructive.
Mate, it's trolls.
Honestly.
It's trolls. You'll get that all the time. All the time. You'll get keyboard warriors.
Listen, I'm crying here because in the beginning, I think I said this on another podcast. In the beginning, I was a bit like, I don't agree with that. And I just thought, if they're being constructive, or this, like a lot of the comments we get, I'd say 95% are positive, but you'll get someone who'll go, I'd like to see more exhaust noises in a video, or more drive-bys, or I'd like you to film it this way. Perfect. I'm all for giving people what they want. But for someone just to go, that van's shit, that's it, or his accent's terrible, or it's just
well, it is, but
I'm glad. At least people will be able to understand you. They'll probably not. I'll have to put subtitles on the bottom of mine.
Mate, the way I see it, my wife's always told me opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, and it might not be your opinion that you like or whatever, but everyone's different. God. You're always going to get it. There's always people that are going to give bad comments. There's people that are going to give excellent comments. You're always going to get, why do you think I don't do videos? Why do you think I don't do YouTube videos and that?
We talked about this.
Yeah. I'm that one that's in the background that just does the work and deals with it. I'm not the face of anything. Do you know what I mean? I've been approached about it. I've been asked by a few people to do stuff online and give little tutorials and bits like that. And it's just, at the moment, it's not something I'm going to do. I might do in the future. Yeah. There's lots of people out there that do.
It's time. Yeah, exactly. As well.
If I'm trying to film something that I'm doing, it takes ages, and it's.
And time is money.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got loads of projects on as well. I've taken on way too many projects, so it's having the time to get stuff done. But there's plenty of people that are out there that are doing good tutorials and stuff with the same thing that I'm doing.
It is, yeah.
So if I do it as well, and then the next person's going to do it, the next person does it, it's just going to flood it, and then you won't know who to look at. There's a company down in Sussex that are brilliant at it. They do videos all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, they're getting a lot of work from it. And it does have that effect, but the guy that does it just wants to help people. He does get work from it, but he just wants to genuinely help people and give them advice.
Yeah.
And if I had more time to do it and I had employees and everything else, then fine, I probably could. But
that's the thing. I mean, as you know, we fit bathrooms, and I think we've done a couple. We haven't put them on YouTube yet, but the idea of it, thought, yeah, let's do it. But then in reality, for one of us to stood filming the other, and it takes 6 times as long. Yeah, you just
don't talk to me about bathrooms. Don't talk to me about bathrooms. My little girl put the shower on the other day in my ensuite, and it didn't come out the shower head; it came out the floor underneath.
Oh,
yeah. The pipe work goes all behind the tiles, and it just it's just poured it. Yeah, it's poured through the ceiling. And the house we're living in is an old house. It's only 300 years old. So it's gone through all the original floorboards, everything. And it's like, yeah, cool. So I'm no plumber and I'm no bathroom fitter, but it's going to be me that fixes it.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. If we can do it, it's not that difficult.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If you can do it, then anyone can do it, whatever. But yes. So don't talk to me about bathrooms too much. But it's the same. If it's the same as the vans as well, at the end of the day, anyone can do it if they put their mind to it. Anyone can carpet line a van.
Yeah.
It's just practice and getting used to it and figuring out your own way of doing it. I probably do it totally different to how most people do it.
Yeah, well, everybody does.
It's finding your own way of doing things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's like you say, there's a lot of people that are doing the self builds and that, which I'm all for. You know, it keeps the cost down and it gives them something to do, especially with all the lockdowns. It's great, it's brilliant. But there's always going to be people that come to someone like myself because they don't want to do it, or they don't have the time, or whatever. Yeah. So it doesn't make much odds to me. But anyone can do anything if they put their mind to it.
Of course they can.
Of
course they can.
I can't always. Man of many trades, expert at none.
No, listen, I just think going back again, keep repeating a sentence, but if you're good at what you do, people will come and that is it. There's always people that want to. One haven't got the time. One have got the time but not got the tools.
Yeah.
There's always. I think there's.
Well, they just don't want to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that just, it's like my bathroom. Or if I was having a kitchen or something fitted, I don't want to do it myself. I don't have the time. I haven't got the inclination to do it. I'd rather just pay someone to come in and do it.
Yeah.
People are in certain trades for a reason. That's why they come and do their jobs.
Yeah.
I'm not an electrician. I wouldn't even attempt to try and do the electrics.
No.
I can do stuff in a van, but yeah, I'm not dealing with household mains. No, you're all right with that.
No.
I'll leave that to someone that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate, definitely. Could you just sort of touch on where the name came from? And so I know we've talked about that, and the sort of groups that you're involved in in the van scene.
Well, the name itself, we went to Volkswagen a few years ago, and there was the company I was working for, we exhibited there. And my wife went to one of these sticker booths where they had loads of stickers, and there was one that just said Vanarchy. So she bought it for my T4 that I had, put it on the windscreen, and it stayed on there for a few years. And when we said about starting the company, she said, look, what about Vanarchy? It's different.
Yeah.
She said, you don't like doing things the same as everyone else tells you to do. So, there's the anarchy bit, and it's to do with vans. So we just went with it, and it seems to have worked. People like it. I speak to customers and they're like, oh, how do you spell that? And I tell them and they go, oh yeah, no, now I've written it down. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was just something different. We wanted to be unusual. We're definitely unusual. But yeah, I wanted to stand out from everyone. I didn't want to be pigeonholed in, he does this like this. I do things differently. Every van I do is custom.
Yeah.
It's very bespoke. Nothing's the same. Even if it looks similar, nothing's the same. So the anarchy part of the name was quite fitting for us. And I'm a bit of a tearaway, really. So it's kind of I do my own thing in my own time whenever I want. Yeah, think about the consequences afterwards. But that's basically where it came from, and it's it just works.
The group that the club. Are you part of a club or a group?
Yeah, vans? Well, it's Dubs of Vanarchy.
Yep.
So it's no relation to the company. It's just a club that I had something to do with, and they basically have it like Sons of Anarchy. So they've got different charters for each county, and they just try and make it fun, really.
Yeah.
But I started doing a few bits in the Cornwall area, so they asked me to head up Cornwall.
Yeah.
And it's local meets, things like that. Giving advice to people. So we've got our own little chat rooms as well, so we can kind of help each other out and different things to do with the vans.
Help advice.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's all Dubs in this group, but it's some of the members have got other vehicles as well. I've been given a bit of grief because I went out and bought a Sprinter, and obviously it's not a V-Dub. So they said it's a crafter in disguise. But
it is.
they're just a massive friendly group that I think there's like over 6,000 members or something.
Wow.
And they just like giving advice and bits and having a bit of a laugh and helping each other out. And it's just I don't have as much to do with it as a lot of people do. Obviously, again, I don't have the time to do it all the time. I can't constantly be on Facebook.
it's time.
I wouldn't want to be anyway.
No,
I've checked my emails and stuff. I've got email, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, website, everything. So it's when you start checking them all, it gets a bit much and you get lost in it. But exactly that. I've had many occasions that my wife's looked. Christmas Day, I had someone messaging me about a van, and we were just sitting watching TV. So I looked at my phone and replied. I got in trouble for that. That's family time. That's Christmas Day. Shut off from business. But yeah, it's just I've always been quite a lot to do with a lot of the groups because I used to live down near VW Heritage.
All right.
So we used to go to all their meets and things down at their depot. And I know people that work there as well because I was brought up with them. So I try and have as much to do with. It's more the Volkswagen scene, but I've tried to mix it more into the van scene now. Yeah. So there's a lot of van life sort of pages and bits like that. And there's a camper one for the UK, and a friend of mine heads it up. They've got like 27,000 members on it. So I offer more advice than anything. So he might tag me in things and I try and help people out with a bit of advice. But when they're living in their vans, they don't always have the money or the ability to get it all done. Yeah. So it's, and fair play to them. If I didn't have the kids, I wouldn't change my kids. But if I didn't have the kids, I'd quite happily live in a van. One day I will. We plan. That's why we bought this Sprinter. We want to travel Europe and stuff like that. Obviously, when we're allowed.
I know.
I mean, I like that lifestyle. I like the fact that you could just move on and park somewhere else and, enjoy different places and different areas and that.
Bit of a free spirit then, aren't you, really, Ryan?
Oh, mate, I'm a massive hobo, really. I don't really care. I live in a house, but I love travelling around. It's just nice. I like different areas, exploring different things.
Yeah,
life's take the bikes with us and disappear. Yeah, exactly that, man. It is exactly that. What's the point? People go on all these all-inclusive holidays, where they're sitting around a pool at a hotel and things like that. Doesn't interest me. I get bored. So
everyone's different. I think some people see that as a relaxed, that's their type of holiday. Everybody's different, aren't they?
I've done it, mate. I've been to different places. I've been to different countries, and I've done all the different holidays. And I would still rather go back to sleeping in the back of my T4 on the Cornish moors in the middle of February when it's freezing cold. And it's just, there's something that the wife and I just love it. And we've brought the kids up to be like that as well. So my kids love going out and being out and about and doing. We went to a woods yesterday. I think I said to you when you spoke to me on the phone about it, we're on the coastline and we're in the woods, and I had my eldest daughter, she's 17, climbing trees. My 8-year-old fell in a river, trying to walk across a branch and fell in a river with the dogs. And it's just, you got to be out. I can't deal with all this. I've got to break away from all the modern day electronics and stuff. I just walk away from it all.
It's my biggest. That's my biggest battle. I mean, my kids now are 13, 15 and 17. And, when they were little, we kept them away from it as long as we could because we were always out and about and, caravan holidays and stuff like that. And we never really had that much, money. We never really had the money to go abroad. Didn't interest me dragging kids on a plane. We did it once, I think, and it was horrendous. Like one of the worst things. Screaming, shouting, and I'm bored. But I think we spent a lot of summers at caravan, and kids remember that. And still now, kids will, they're older and they don't want to do anything now. You just either an embarrassment to them or they just grunt at you, don't they, when they get to that age?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, mate.
But I want to change that. I won't change that. And I think I'd love to get involved in that again and because me and my wife did have a camper van a few years ago. But we just couldn't, kids were a lot younger and we just never used it. So I think now they're getting a bit older. I'd love to get a camper and do some travelling. Definitely bucket list.
Yeah, well, even if you don't go that far. I mean, I said to you off camera, we literally just sold our caravan yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is kind of moving forward for our next build. But yeah, we've had it for the last, I think, 8 years. And we've had some brilliant holidays in it, brilliant memories. And we've just sold it to someone that wants to do the same with their kids, their young girls. So it's, it's just nice. We've always I have managed to go abroad before. Couldn't really afford it. Credit cards are brilliant. But worry about it later. But we've done our abroad holidays and that. And it's, I've done a few lovely countries and I've had great times. But like I say to you, I'd rather get in a van and disappear, even if it's in my own country.
Yeah.
Stay in England, go somewhere nice and park up somewhere and have a few days and get a bit of a break from things.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend the money on doing my van up and on fuel than I would spending on a holiday for someone else.
I'm good at spending money on my van, I can tell you that.
I just don't have the money to spend on my van.
Much to my wife's dismay.
See, that's where you have to be a little bit sneaky about it.
I hope she's not watching this. You have to be creative about where you get your items delivered.
Yeah, I've got a workshop, mate. I've got a workshop. If I order anything, it goes to the workshop, not the house.
Yeah, because I know I've had a few stuff delivered at home, and she'd be like, "What's this?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's some bathroom gear, some taps." Big splitter about this big.
Yeah, because that really looks like taps.
Yeah, she just rolled her eyes at me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But but it's enjoying it though. It's enjoying what you like. Do you know what I mean? And it's, like I say, we've spoken about your van before as well, and it's what everyone's van is different. Everyone does different things. It's what suits you personally.
Yeah.
And whether it's unusual or not. I've had rat look vehicles and I've had shiny vehicles. Everyone does their own thing.
I think, especially when it comes down to my van, it's no show van. Because every time I think I get in it, I think, oh, there's another dint in it or whatever. It's used every day for work, and I've just hit the 150,000 milestone on it, and I think it were 110 when I bought it, an engine, and same problem you've had with yours, head gasket and all that rubbish. So I've had a good 40,000 mile virtually maintenance free since I had engine redone. Which, when I think about it, it's I think I've only had a couple of issues with Darkside, and same again. I think going back to that podcast, they jumped on it and resolved it, and that's what it's all about. It's about solving the problems, isn't it? But there's just a lot of stuff on my van that other people have got. I like the fact that it's unique to me. I don't want to, because you see caddies everywhere, and majority of them look the same, but
they're everywhere now.
Yeah, mine's pretty unique to me, and that's how I want to keep it. And if people have asked me and said, "What's that?" and it's not like I go, "I'm not telling you." If you want to do the same, do the same. I'd rather rather say, "Yeah, it's this. I got it from there. This is the link. Go and buy it."
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I'd rather help someone than go out my way and be an arsehole.
Well, exactly. Yeah, but there's too many people like that, unfortunately. I mean, I've done the opposite. I'm quite greedy. I've got 2 caddies.
Oh, no. It's all about.
Well, it's a bit awkward, really. It was an awkward scenario.
I know.
When we started the company originally, we just picked up a normal 2-litre SDI caddy. Bit gutless wonder, but it did what we wanted it to do. So we had some sign rhyme put on it, and I've put Caddy Maxi rear seats in it.
Yeah,
and done my twist on the inside.
We'll put some photos up to that as well.
Yeah, well, that was meant to be a work vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anymore. My wife drives it. So she drives it sign written, lowered. Everything else, drives it around Cornwall for work and that, and it's. Yeah, she uses it for the dogs, and I think it gets half of the beach. And I've taken it back to fish draw a couple of times and offered the sand back to it. So yeah, it got to the extreme where the dogs are just, they got their own section in the back, but you got dog hair everywhere and things like that. And I couldn't show a customer the inside of it because it just gets trashed. It cleans up, but it gets trashed inside. So I done the other van, the one I've got the head gasket issue. I done it for a customer, and it looks lovely. And I bought it, and then it turns out the head gasket needs doing. So yeah, I need to deal with that. But they're total opposite ends of it as well. So the sign written van is commercial bumpers. It's got satin black wheels and everything else on it.
Yeah.
And the other van is all Touran color coded bumpers, pure white, and I think
it's nice.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
do you know what
nice,
the wheels?
they're different, aren't they?
I don't even know what the wheels are. I think they're rotors.
Right.
I don't even know if they're genuine. I haven't even looked at them. But it looks the part. Do you know what I mean? It looks a bit more showy than the other one.
Yeah.
But then the other one is the commercial style, and I'm all for both of them. So that's why we got another VW and another Caddy. It wasn't because I was planning on it. But it means that the wife's got her vehicle to use every day, and I've got my own.
Advertising tool as well, especially driving around where you are. And you've got. Do
you know what? She walks the dogs a lot, and she's all over Cornwall. And the amount of people that have seen her driving around and emailed me and rung me and things.
Yeah.
And she loves doing. She does photos and videos of all the coastlines and some of her walks and bits, and she puts them on social media like Instagram and that. If you like Cornwall, look up Cornish Adventurer.
We'll put links. Yeah, we'll put it in description.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah. But she does that, and she does videos and has like clips of the van with the dogs jumping out and bits like that. And the amount of people that have seen her driving around, or they say to me, "Oh, I saw you driving around so and so the other day," and it's like, "No, not me. That was the wife."
Yeah.
So it's good advertising for me. I just let her drive around, and it looks cool, and yeah. I get business from it, so great.
Happy days.
But yeah, so it's not just me being greedy. It's well, I kind of am, but yeah.
So you've got obviously the two caddies.
Oh, you want the list of it?
Yeah, come on. Give me a list.
Right, so we've got the two caddies. Yeah. I've got a T4 Caravelle that I've actually. I'm putting that up for sale, unfortunately. I love it, but we bought the Sprinter, so we've got the long wheelbase Sprinter, and we're going to build that into a full berth for ourselves.
You can't keep them all,
mate. I'm trying. I am trying. I love my T4, but my daily beater, my normal drive around car is I've got a 2005 diesel Beetle.
Nice.
It's lowered and wheels and bits, but nothing over the top. But it's I just love driving it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I used to leave the T4 at home and take the Beetle just because it's just easier to drive.
Yeah.
I love my T4. It looks lovely, and we've had great adventures in it. It's just, like you say, if money allowed, I'd keep it, but that's what's pretty much funding the Sprinter build. Yeah. And it's just easier. It's easier. Yeah. So if anyone wants a T4 Caravelle, it's going up for sale.
We'll put some photographs in and stuff. And
yeah, man, it's not, there's a lot of T4s that are a hell of a lot cleaner, but it still looks good. It does everything it's meant to do, and
it's nice. Yeah,
it looks the part. It looks good in photos. Yeah. Looks great in photos. I don't have to polish it for photos. I could just wash it. But no, we've had it for years, and it's just, we decided to move on. I kind of made it redundant when I did the first Caddy, because I put seats in it. It used to be our family vehicle, but since the Caddy had seats in it, we don't need the T4 anymore. And I think in 9 months, I've used it maybe 6 times.
Yeah.
So I've done a couple of the Dubs of Vanarchy cruise outs. We done one at Christmas, and I take my bikes on the back of it.
Yeah.
And apart from that, it's just sat over at the workshop, not really doing a lot. So I think it's time to move it on for someone else, really.
And I think the people that buy most vehicles like that, and they get used, and that's the thing, isn't it? You want it to get used.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same as what we did with the caravan. I want someone to have it that's actually going to get use out of it. And, you know, I'd quite happily get in it and drive into Europe. I'd drive to Spain or whatever. I trust it, you know, and I always have done. It's just, I want someone to have it that actually wants to do the same sort of thing, you know, go away on holidays with the family and the kids or just their other half or whatever and actually enjoy it. That's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? And if I can help someone else, if I can say it to someone that helps them do the same sort of thing that we've done and make good memories, then brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, we're only going bigger because we got the girls and we're going a little bit mental on it. We're going 4 berth. So it's having a double bed and bunk beds. So yeah, I start the build on Monday.
Oh, lovely. So you're going to turn it into a full camper.
It's not going all-terrain tyres and stuff, but it's having full roof rack and solar panels and everything else on it. But we want to end up going through into Europe and do a bit of travelling around. And yeah, it's got to be equipped for 4 people and carry all our crud that we take with us, all our recreational stuff. So yeah, it's got its windows going in on Monday, and that's the first step of it being built. Nice. We've had it for about 2 months, and it's done nothing. It's storage container at the moment.
Well,
it's got loads of stuff in it.
Well, you'll keep us updated anyway, and make sure you send us plenty of photos.
Yeah, we're going to do a build thread on that one. So we will do videos and photos and stuff as we go along on it, and it's going to be a slow build, obviously, in between customers and bits like that, but it will get there eventually, and we will do a thread on that one, just because it's a big thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm used to, I think the biggest vans I've ever worked on are, well, kind of transporter size. Yeah. So, you know, we've done a few Vauxhall Vivaros and bits, but it's the biggest one I've worked on, and we've got a few things in the pipeline over the next year or two. So hopefully we may be a little bit bigger by then and take on bigger stuff.
Yeah,
I'd like to do this Sprinter and then maybe build a couple and move them on to people.
Yeah.
So the problem is there's a lot of people doing it already, and they do it to a very high standard.
Yeah.
So it's
I get what you're saying, but I still think you'll crack it. Honestly.
I like the confidence, dude. You got more confidence in me than I got in myself. But no, you know,
if you build
we're trying to move forward.
If you build it, they'll come.
Exactly. I mean, we're trying to move forward. We are only a small company. You know, it was mainly my wife and my mother and father-in-law, actually. They're the ones that pushed me towards doing it.
Yeah.
Because they just wanted us to succeed with something, and they actually financially backed me. I didn't have the money to start a company. It's you know, it's scary as heck.
It's nice when you've got family like that to support you, and not just financially, but emotionally, and yeah, it's great. You're only as good as that.
My father-in-law's got his own plumbing company, so he knows business more than I did. And they've just pushed us forward on it. And, you know, I looked at all the different avenues of getting funding to do it, like loans and government grants and everything else. It's so awkward to get them. It's so awkward. So luckily they helped me out, and yeah, they kind of backed us a little bit. So until we got up and running. Yeah, it's just we wanted it to be a small family business. We don't want to be millionaires. We just want to be comfortable enough that we can do our own thing.
Yeah.
I'm not greedy. I am with caddies. I might have to get another ones at a later date, but you know, they're just nice to drive. But yeah, we're not greedy. You know, there's companies out there that just want to make all the money, and they don't care how they make it. And we want to kind of do things that give people a nice lifestyle. We're still there to make money, don't get me wrong, but we're not out to rip people off.
No.
I've been ripped off too many times over the years, so I don't want to do it to anyone else. No. Why would you?
No, you don't.
You know, I'm sure you're the same with your company. You don't want to rip people off, but you're still there to make money.
You know, unfortunately, profit is a dirty word.
It's awkward. You know, it is really, really awkward. You've got to make money, but you yeah, it's getting the pricing right.
Yeah, and if we want to do it for a wage, we'll go work for someone.
Exactly.
That's where we are, and
no doubt mate, 100%. Yeah, I could go and work for someone else and earn a lot more money than I'm earning at the moment.
But
it's
to put the time and effort and dedication into working for yourself and growing your brand and growing your customers. It takes time, but good at what you do, it'll happen. I'm a firm believer in that.
Again, it's like you said before, it's way of life as well. I could go and work for someone and do a stupid amount of hours and earn really, really good money. But, one of the reasons we did the company is so I can spend time with the family and actually have time to ourselves. And I wouldn't get that for an employer.
No. And to up sticks to where you were, to where you are now, and the business, and you've put your family first, and I take me out off.
It's a massive risk.
Set some balls to move house.
It was a massive risk. It's a massive risk, but it's starting to pay off. Like I said to you, I think we just went right. Okay, we're going to do it. If we don't do it now, we're never going to know. It's the same as starting the company. We're never going to know. Yeah. So we moved 240 miles away. Yeah. So I got some family involved and we just loaded everything up and just went, right, okay. Mate, I was loading vans up for 4 days before we moved. Do you know what I mean? And it's still at the end of the first lockdown and I was loading vans up outside my house ready to move and we were literally sleeping in the living room on mattresses.
Wow.
So we didn't have too much to load up. Yeah. And then we just went for it. And, my wife's still got all her family around that area as well. And it's, apart from that, I don't think we miss it. It's, where we live, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the area. It's just, we'd had enough and just wanted to do our own thing in our own place.
Yeah. Kids.
And sometimes you got to take risk in life.
You have. And I think, it'll pay dividends, not only financially, but most importantly with kids and your home life and just being able to
surfing at 6 o'clock in the evening.
I don't think I'm surfing at 6 o'clock. It's traffic
or the internet. Yeah. I'll tell you what. There was a lot of people walking dogs the other night, and they were all in coats and woolly hats and everything. And I had my friend John with me, my 8-year-old daughter, and myself out in the sea, catching some waves in on the bodyboards, having a great time. It was bitterly cold, and they were all looking at us like we were nuts. Yeah. But we had a great time, and it's I do stupid things for some reason. I don't know why I did it. It was proper cold. It was proper cold. I would have rather have been at home surfing the internet, mate, than in the warm. Yeah, but no, you just got to do your right thing for what's right for you and your family, and it's, I'm never going to have anything for my family if I don't put myself out there and do things. Yeah. It's like you said about the podcast. I haven't come on the podcast to try and promote myself and earn money off the back of it. It's, like you said, we've got, speaking off camera, we got a bit of a mutual similar sort of ideas of how we want to do things and how we do things in life. And it's, and it's also to encourage other people. If someone else has got an idea of what they want to do,
just go for it. Go for it.
Life's too short, mate. COVID has told me exactly that. Life is way too short. Yeah. There's a lot of people that have lost their life for something that they haven't done wrong. Yeah. But, their life's been ended and you can only feel sorry for them, and grief for the families and that. But if you've got something you want to do, mate, find a way of doing it. Get out there, get it done. Yeah. There's too many people that I used to be like it, used to go in my own little shell and just go to work, do my hours, go home, and that was it. And I thought, you know what? Sod it. I've got to enjoy myself at the same time. Yeah. And more people need to do it,
Definitely. And I think, and working for yourself isn't for everybody, and I think there's a lot of people out there that it probably scared them to death, and there's a lot of people that it just becomes a way of life. For me, it has just become a way of life, but it's been hard, and there's been times over the years, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It's beans on toast, affording what we needed, and that were it, and nothing else, and
a few tears.
Yeah, and a few tears. And I tell you what, and I don't care if people don't like it anyway, but there were years and years and years where we went on sun holidays when my kids were little. Back 2010-ish, 11, it were a tough few years for us. And yeah, we went on 3-4 holidays a year with sun holidays. And I'm not, that to me, some of the best memories of his holidays and his kids remember from them.
Yeah, 100%.
We've got to remember that. We've got to think, where we were and where we are now, and be extremely grateful.
Back to basics a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, business is hard. You know as well as I do. It is. We found it since July. It's really hard. It causes arguments. It causes grief, and it is hard. It makes money hard as well. I mean, because we are still small, we're still new. Well, we're still in our first year, so we're still new to an extent. We basically live off my wife's money.
Yeah.
I don't want to take money out of the business as a wage until I'm comfortable enough in a business to do it.
Yeah.
So, it's still hard for us. And, there's a lot of people that go, oh, yeah, but you need to earn money off it. Yeah, okay, I do. But we're getting some good work out and getting some good reputation out. And it's that cycle. It will pay itself off.
Reinvest. You've got to keep reinvesting in your business. And
100%.
not get blinded by a big job that comes in and the rest of it. And
you've got to think of all the little jobs as well, and they all tick you over. Yeah. It's all good and well having the big jobs, but if you don't have the small jobs, you won't get the bigger jobs. But I mean, I'm quite lucky that my wife, she doesn't earn mega money, but she supports me 100% with it. And
that's awesome.
We've basically like I say, for the last 9-10 months, we've lived off her money, and we're just trying to reinvest into the business and try and build it. But then eventually the plan is that it will go back round the other way, and we'll be a little bit more comfortable, and, the business fund itself sort of thing. It's always going to be hard. We knew it was going to be hard to start with.
Yeah.
But we just decided, right, okay, we're going to take the risk.
Yeah.
I mean, she's only a teacher, man. Do you know what I mean? It's people who think that teachers are on mega money. Trust me, they're not. they're really not. But she loves her job as well. So she works with special needs kids, and she absolutely loves it. So,
it goes back to what's important, and enjoying your job and enjoying what you do. Exactly. Life is too short. Life is way too short.
Oh, I'm getting old now, mate. I'm nearly 40, so,
I'm 40 next week. Big 4-0
Oh, God, you are old then.
Oh, bloody hell.
But again, that's, we wanted to do it. It's like having the kids and that. I didn't want to be too old when I had the kids. I didn't want to be too old starting the company as well. And ideal scenario would be have a couple of people working for me, and slightly bigger workshop on that, and it means that it takes some of the slack off of me, and I can actually break away a little bit more. But it's not going to happen for the next few years. It's still very, very early days for us, so it's we're hoping a few shows come back on that, so we can get to a few shows. I'm
gonna touch on that. I think once we get out of this situation we're in, and the show season starts again, and you can start getting yourself out there, and it'll make a huge difference. But to be where you are and still be ticking over, and still got customers coming through the door, fair play to you, pal.
Oh, dude, my workshop is just under a mile from central Newquay.
Wow.
I couldn't get much better than that. But it's. I'm hoping we can do a lot of things, but I'm hoping the shows come back on soon. And it's, there's a lot of speculation whether shows are going to be on or not. I really hope they are, because I love going to them, even if I'm not doing something work-wise. I just enjoy going to a lot of the VW shows and bits like that. Nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be all modified cars and everything, and it got a bit hectic. Each to their own, but for me, it got a little bit too hectic.
Yeah.
And I spent way too much money on my cars and broke them way too often. I've had a big collection of vehicles.
Go on, tell us.
Oh no, there's wait since I was
most
I started.
memorable.
I don't know really. My
First.
kids, I had an Audi A4 diesel that my kids loved, and it was slammed on Steelies, satin black rattle can paint job. Had Marvel Comics headliner and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
And I'd done a BMX and you remember the old drift trikes?
Yeah.
The old pedal drift trikes.
Yeah.
I had them, and my daughter got me to paint them satin black as well. We cable tied them to the roof, and took them to a few shows and bits. It's stuff like that for memories. Vehicle wise, I've had countless amounts. I get bored too quick. I get way too bored. I think between the wife and I, we probably had. You're verging into the 60s, maybe 70s between us.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had a stint of motorbikes as well. I'd done like 8 or 9 motorbikes over the years as well.
Yeah.
But, well, like I said at the start, you know, my dad was back in the day Formula One. So he was a mechanic for a couple of the high teams. And I used to go to the races with him and used to go to Santa Pod for the drag strip and stuff like that. So I had a proper petrol head sort of upbringing. So amazing. Done a few track days and bits, and it's just I kind of calmed down and went to the vans because it was just stopped me risking my life all the time. It was getting a little bit stupid when drifting started to become a big thing. I had a couple of rear-wheel drive cars that I started having a bit of a play, and broke a couple of them.
That's huge drifting.
Oh yeah. We've been quite lucky. We've met a couple of the drifters over the years, and it is a massive thing. You know, I met a guy a few years ago that's doing really, really well, which is Bagsy. He does it for Monster.
Yeah.
And he's done really well. I used to go see him when he was King of the Ring. You know, and it was like a speedway track, and that was it. And now he's doing all the British Drift Championships and the European ones and everything else. And it's skyrocketed. Yeah. The whole scene, the whole drift scene has skyrocketed, mental. I'd love to have a bit more to do with it, but it's just, for me, it's too expensive, and it's just not my thing anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
I like watching it.
Oh, it's brilliant to watch. I watch the videos all the time, but then I watch British touring cars and Australian touring cars, and it's like, you know, I can't afford to do that either. That's ridiculous. But no, I mean, like I say, the upbringing for me was a big part of what I do.
Yeah.
It wasn't the van side of things, but, you know, we went to Australia. My dad moved out to Australia.
Oh, really? God.
Yeah, he's been out there 25 years now.
Wow.
He finished doing Formula One. It was the last ever Adelaide Grand Prix. And he stayed out there. And he's got his own race shop out there now, but I moved out there with him and stayed out there for 3 years.
Wow.
And then for other reasons came back, family and bits. So yeah, you know, it's that's what I mean. It's been a massive part. My family's been a massive part of what I do.
I think if I think, did you see Dan's podcast? His dad were heavily involved in a race team as well, and I think it's just in you. It's just part of your makeup, and if you,
I don't have blood, I got petrol in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, you know, like I say, I've calmed down a lot over the years, but yeah, I mean, I had all of that from my dad's side of things, and I remember even when I was tiny, I must have been about 2 or 3. My dad used to race go-karts and stuff. So you know, I've always had it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've always been interested in it. And luckily, my wife loves her motorsport and things as well, and loves her cars and that. So, yeah, it's worked out for us. My littlest one's only 8, and she went to her first drag racing at Santa Pod when she was 3.
Yeah.
I think she was 3. Yeah. So, yeah, when you get your little girl going, Daddy, Daddy, I love it when the motorbikes are roaring past. Yeah, it's nice. I had a good upbringing with it, so I want my kids to have the same sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm not saying you want to emulate that, don't you? And give them what you had and more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to learn from a lot of my mistakes over the years. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've had good things as well. But
we all have, mate.
Well, exactly.
We all have.
I mean, touch wood, I've got no criminal offences or anything, which is quite good. But even when your kids are growing up, you try and teach them from your mistakes. They don't want to listen to it. The same as I didn't want to listen to my parents when my parents told me.
No.
It's
a fine line between.
If I tell them 100 things and they listen to one, then I've done something. Do you know what I mean? And it's my kids aren't spoiled. They don't go without, but they're not spoiled. Yeah, they have a nice life.
It's a fine line, and it's not all about money. It's about the time and what you put into it, and especially with mine, it's you want to give them everything. You want to try and educate them as much as possible, but certain lessons, to a degree, they've got to go out and figure and find out for themselves.
Well, my eldest did. He wanted to move out, so he got himself a flat with his girlfriend and went to uni and stuff. And he's been doing really, really well, And it's we didn't think he'd be able to do it with his Asperger's and bits. We didn't think he'd be able to do it at all, but he has. He's succeeded in it. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to teach my kid things, but my kids, mate, they're a lot smarter than I am. Hell of a lot smarter than I am. I'm good with my hands, doing work with my hands. They're academically, they are. They make me look stupid.
Same as me.
It's ridiculous.
Same as mine.
I think it's just our era.
Don't get the brains from me.
I think it's just our era, and it looks like we're similar age. So it's I think it's just the way that we learnt things then, and it's different generations.
It's a totally different
My kids have been lucky that their mum's a teacher, so she can teach them a lot. And it's if they need to learn something, doing it with their hands and manual work, then great, I'm all for it. But when it's doing their homework and stuff on their like tablets and laptops and stuff, no, that's not for me. No. Go see your mum. I say that quite a lot, actually. Go see your mum. Yeah,
best way.
It's the easiest way, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just popping out to work. Go and ask your mum.
Yeah. So, just jumping on something a bit deeper here. Who would you say has been most influential person in your life in that respect?
It probably was my dad. Yeah. To be honest, don't get me wrong. It wasn't all peaches and cream. It wasn't lovely all the time, but he was in motor racing since I was born. But obviously doing Formula One, he was away a hell of a lot, and it did just put strain on family and things. But I just enjoyed the time that I had with him when he was at home. Don't keep in touch with him as much as I probably should do now. But yeah, he taught me a lot. But since then, since the wife and I got together, it's she eggs me on to do everything. She backs me 100% on pretty much everything I do. She trusts my opinion on things. If she thinks it's a stupid idea, she'd be open and tell me it's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
But
that resonates
if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be here now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's. I think you're only as good as that in life. I think when you've got someone behind you who's pushing you, who supports you. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yeah, but it works both ways as well.
That resonates with me.
Yeah, it works both ways. My wife does a lot for me and backs me 100%, but then I do the same for her. If she wants to do something, as long as I don't think it's a stupid idea, crack on and get on with it.
Yeah.
And you've got to both be working on not always the same page, but a similar page.
Yeah.
you know, and you kind of get that click. If you didn't get the click, you wouldn't be together.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be with someone that made me miserable and I didn't enjoy being with. But no, my wife's backed me on all of it, you know, especially on this journey in particular, doing the company and that. And the move and everything, she's backed me 100% on it. It was both our idea to move, but she suggested, I was looking for work down in Cornwall. She'd already found a job and I was looking for work, and I just went, there's not a lot about, because the problem with Cornwall is it's very agricultural.
Yeah.
And I know I like working with my hands, but I don't want to be working in a field. It's just not my thing. So she said, okay, well, look, we'll look into it and see if there's a way that we can do something for ourselves. And she said, I want you to start the business on your own.
Yeah.
So that's
awesome,
exactly
mate.
what we did. And she has backed me 100%.
Yeah.
You know, and if I didn't have her backing, I wouldn't have had the guts to do it.
No, it's not, you know, it's just to have someone like that behind you. It's huge.
I mean, she's my rock.
Yeah.
She's always been my rock, you know, and even when I have bad days where, you know, and it happens all the time, and I'm sure you can agree.
It's like the scales, isn't it? The scales tip.
Yeah.
I always say this about my missus as well. It's like just evens it back up. You know, you've had a bad day.
Yeah.
And you go home, it levels.
Yeah. You know, when I've done it a few times. I have a really bad day. Something hasn't gone right on doing a van, and it's had a knock-on effect. And you know, I'm behind on a job or whatever. I've been known to come home, have something to eat, and then go back to work and work all the way through the night and the next day trying to get jobs done.
Yeah.
You know, it's for me. I don't like doing it, but for me, it's my reputation on the line. If I don't get the job done, it doesn't get done.
Put a late shift in.
And my wife's, hey.
I say, if you need to put a late shift in, you've got to do it, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I did one. She did go mad at me. I came home, had something to eat, and then went back to work for about 8 at night. And I'm a bit soppy. People don't realise I'm quite a soppy person. And I came home for 6:30 in the morning to make her a cup of coffee before she went to work. And then I went back to work again. And my workshop's like nearly 20 miles away from the house. Yeah. So I drove 20 miles back at 6 in the morning to make her a coffee so she could do her day. And then I went back to work again.
Well, everybody's going to know you're sopping out anyways.
Oh, mate, I don't care. Yeah, I really don't care. People see me in particular ways. I could be quite blunt and quite brash with people, but if people see me in the summer, I'll walk around in flowery pink shorts, and you know, I've got the ponytail going on and the beard and everything else, and I don't care what people think. You know, if people like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. Yeah. You know, there's plenty of other people to go and be friends with. Yeah. So it's we just do our own thing, and I am soppy. My dogs sleep on my bed every night. Do you know what I mean? It's just who I am. People just get a different image of me.
There's not wrong with that. And that's the trouble with sometimes is people judge based on appearance, and unfortunately, it's saying this with my kids as well. It's not right. That's what people do. You know, if people want to watch this podcast, watch it. If you don't, you don't have to. You know. Well,
exactly that. And it's the same as business. You know, if people want to come and get work done by me, brilliant. Crack on. I'll welcome you with open arms. But if you don't like the look of me or something, then don't come down. You know, it works both ways. I get a lot of people I've got the image apparently of being kind of like a Harley rider, and it's I've had so many customers say to me, "Do you ride a Harley or do you surf?" And it's like, yeah, well, I ain't got a motorbike. But the problem is it's all stereotypes as well. So people see me as an image and they think you know, with the beard and everything else, they just go, oh, yeah, look, he looks like he's a biker or something like that, a bit troublesome. Couldn't be further from the truth.
I know.
Don't get me wrong.
Honestly, mate,
get on the wrong side of me and you know about it, but it's...
but I think that's in life, and there's always a line, isn't there? People cross that line. You know, I'd hate to think I'm pretty laid back, but there's a line, and I'm pretty easy doing them. And I think as long as people understand that, and just be nice sometimes to people to put the phones down and start communicating face to face with people and understanding, because I feel that there's a generation that are disconnected from that.
But if they put their phones down, they won't be watching your podcast.
Well, no, so I take that back. Don't put your phone.
Watch the podcast first.
Yeah, don't put your phone down. But
yeah, no, I totally agree. Everyone gets too. Yeah, everyone gets too. Like you probably get it as well. I get a lot of emails and things, and social media messages and bits like that. And I'm old school. You know, if you're local to me, come down, knock on the door, come and speak to me. Yeah. It's so much easier.
Well, people need to. If anybody needs any van conversion work done, they need to be coming down that are local to you, don't they? Seeing you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just come and knock on the door. Yeah, I'm always happy to come and have a look at something. The thing is people try and explain to me over the phone, and it's really awkward to give people prices and bits. I'm sure you get the same. You need to actually look at the job to give a good price.
And I'm a people person, and I think if I can get in front of someone, I can explain it better. They can understand it better. There's no misconceptions or
mate, I've had people come in and go, they've rung me up and said, oh, I only need a little bit doing here and there on my van, and they've brought it in, and I've looked at it and I've gone, wow, really? Yeah. And they've gone, well, you quoted me this. And yeah, that's before I saw it. Yeah. And it's, that's why it's easier face to face. But unfortunately, with the youth as well now, people would rather do like video calls and walk around their vehicle and stuff. Obviously, with COVID stuff, okay, you've got to be a little bit careful. Yeah. But just to touch on that, if someone did come down, we are COVID safe anyway. No one's allowed in the workshop. Yeah. So it's still face masks and stuff, and I come out and have a look around at the vehicle and bits. I don't have people in my workshop at the moment because I'm not allowed to do it, and it's being careful. You've got to be careful at the moment. I know it's really bad to have to do, but it is a necessity.
It's the world we live in. Hopefully things will get back to some normality.
I hope so. And then you can come down and have a look at the workshop and have a surf.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
We'll throw you out in a wetsuit and a board.
Definitely. I don't know how good I'll be. Can you do it on your knees?
Yeah, you can actually. Yeah. You just take a bodyboard, mate.
Yeah.
Bodyboard. You just lay on it and wait for the wave. It's easier. Yeah. But no, it'll be a lot easier once. Don't get me wrong. I think COVID will be a thing for quite a long time yet, but in some respects. But hopefully, it will ease up enough that we can deal with things and actually have some sort of normality back.
Yeah.
Because if this is the normality at the moment, it's not the greatest. No, it's not. It restricts a lot of people. But it's getting there. If the roads of Cornwall are anything to go by, everyone's realised that the lift has been changed a little bit, as in the restrictions, because mate, the roads down here are absolutely ridiculous at the moment. It's ridiculous. It takes me about 45 minutes to get to work. I went into the workshop the other day. It took me an hour and a half.
Wow.
And that's like 12 miles on a dual carriageway before I come off it. It's just, that's the downside from being workshop in Newquay. I'm right near, I think I'm only 3 miles away from Fistral Beach. So everyone queues up past the industrial estate. I just can't get into the workshop. It's ridiculous. But that's Cornwall for you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I sort of expected that. Cornwall in the summer is mental. In the winter, it's cold, it's wet, it's dreary and foggy, and there's nothing on the roads. But yeah, swings and roundabouts, isn't it? You got to take the rough with the smooth on it.
It is, mate. It is. What does? Go on, sorry. Go on.
No, go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, what's future hold? What's your plans for this year? What, in your ideal sort of scenario in regards to shows? Have you got any plans to go to any if they're on? And
we've got one that's fairly local to me, which is BHP Fuel Fest in Exeter.
Right.
So I know the guy that runs it, Jay. He's he does lots of different shows all over the country. We're hoping this one's going to go ahead. It's still a big show. There's a lot of stuff goes on, and we've possibly got a stand there for a couple of vehicles.
Oh, brilliant.
So we're hoping to take the caddy, and I've got a customer's transporter that we've just done as well. So hopefully that's going to be coming down.
That's good.
Just to kind of put a footprint out there and show people we are out there and we are still trading and who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to have. We're still getting work in, but it'd be nice to have a few shows that we can actually open the doors on some vehicles and go, this is what we do. This is our quality.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully
there's thousands of people at these shows.
Exactly. And it's, you know, it's not a massive show compared to some of them. You know, like Volksworld, they've cancelled that now. They've postponed that, I think, till 2022, I think. So they're not even going to attempt it this year just because of, you know, Sandown Racecourse. It's humongous. There's so many people up there.
Yeah.
It's quite disappointing because I actually had my T4 was in the outdoor bit for VW Heritage at that show, and obviously COVID hit and they went, sorry, we can't do it anymore. Oh. So that really sucked for me, but wasn't anything to do with the business. That was me. I just wanted my vehicle in there and they offered it. So I was like, yeah, cool, excellent. But like you said about your own van earlier, none of my vans are show vans. Yeah. You know, they might look nice inside, but none of them are show vans. They're not going to be, I'm never going to be building something for myself that's all air ride and, you know, all the bells and whistles. And I use my vans.
Yeah, I think it's a representation of your business as well, isn't it? And it's a good showcase as well for that.
I'm just a normal person that is doing something I enjoy, you know, and I will do the vans how I would do them for myself. They're all very presentable when they leave the workshop. How people treat them after is entirely up to them, you know. Like I said, my first caddy, it's the carpet starting to fluff up where the kids Velcro and the dog harnesses and bits go all over it, and it's whatever. But it's used, you know, it's used every day.
Yeah.
And none of my vehicles are ever going to be that show worthy. But if I can go to a few events and shows and bits and show people what I do and I get a bit of business from it and people like what I do, then brilliant. You know, it's worth me going to the show in the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. You know, we've got a few plans this year, hopefully. We're hoping to possibly go in a slightly bigger workshop. Probably not massive, but a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So obviously money allowing. We've got the Sprinter build to start this year. We'll start next week.
I'm looking forward to seeing that progress on that.
I'm not looking forward to doing it. It's a big one, and I'm quite particular, and because it's my own vehicle, I'm going to be very particular on it. But yeah, we've got that build on the go. We're currently building. We've got a facelift T5 that we're doing as a sales vehicle, so we're doing it up, making it lovely, and then moving that on.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's quite a few bits in the pipeline. Yeah, so hopefully it all pays off. Hopefully it all goes forward and there's no more massive restrictions in place. But then to be fair, you know, we've been open the whole of, obviously not the first lockdown, but the rest of it, we've been open the whole time. We've still been trading.
Yeah.
I just do clean handovers. People still drop their vehicles off. I do it. They get them back. You know, we've still been quite lucky with that. I know there's a lot of trades that haven't been able to work at all.
Yeah.
And because we are a small workshop, we can just stay open.
Yeah.
You know,
same again. Thankful for what we've got. And yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are suffering.
Could be a lot worse, man.
It could. But no, honestly, man, appreciate you being on today. It's been great to get to know you a bit more and sort of give people at home an idea of who you are and what you do and promote your business. What we'll do is we'll put all the links to all your social media and everything in the description.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Well, hopefully it might just encourage somebody to come and see you. I say, give some brand some exposure. and
Yeah,
get people to get to know
You can see it there.
the real person behind. There we go. Get to know
But
the
yeah,
real
no,
person behind the business. It's always good to connect with people.
Mate, it was awesome for me, the fact that you actually asked me to do it as well. You know, it's, yeah, fair play to you. You're trying to do what you want to do and trying to promote people and get things out.
And I think just going back to just working together and supporting each other, and every single person that I think that we come into contact with, it we share that. And that's why they're on the podcast. So it's great to have you involved, and no doubt it'll not be the last time we see you.
No, man. Hopefully, as long as we keep trading, I'll keep you updated on it all. And when we've got a bit of progress to show on the Sprinter. It's cool, man. It's awesome.
But
hopefully, when it all restrictions lift, then we can actually meet up and.
It'd be great to get to a show. We had some plans to get to some shows this year. It's going to be extremely difficult. We had Carfest booked last year with the family, with the wife and the kids, and that didn't happen. Yeah. So that's going ahead this year in Chester. So obviously Vans is not going to that, but I'm off to that with the missus and the kids. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think looking at what's going ahead, I think tracks in October at Silverstone, we might get to that, but. You know, it is what it is. We'll do our best to get. Yeah,
I've been there a few times for tracks, and I'm quite interested in doing the caddy takeover that they were doing.
Oh, I went to that not last year, the year before. Yeah, I've never seen as many caddies in one place, man. I might have to take both of ours up. I'll get both of ours done and take both of ours up and join the crew. Yeah, it's I know
it's different.
Yeah, it is. It is. Neil Timsel were on one at Features. He's got that caddy camper. He's heavily involved in that, and it's. I think they're trying to get. I think they were 80 odd last year. I think they're trying to get to like get into sort of triple figures. Anyway, I know that.
Well, I'm hoping. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm hoping. I want to try and get the Nightmare caddy. I'm trying to get that done to an extent that I'd like to go to tracks and maybe it's not quick by any means, but I'm hoping to try and take it out on a bit of track time.
Oh, so, I'd love to do that. But I just know I'll end up ditching it in a corner somewhere.
I've got a spare one. But no, we're. It's only a TDI. It's not the quickest, but I'm hoping to. Get it to a few events, and I've got to get it signed, written up, and take it out on the track. We've done a few track days with cars, and we don't go mental on it. I don't go into corners at 150 mile an hour, but it's a bit of fun. Why not? Really?
Yeah,
there's nothing like a caddy coming back into the car park stinking because it's so hot.
Yeah.
It's the way forward. Yeah, I might upgrade them actually. Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
I'll tell you what, one of the best things I did on mine were R32 brakes. They're just crazy. When I got in it, after that had been done, I nearly went through a windscreen. You put your foot on brakes.
Yeah. I've done the brakes on the caddy. Yeah, I've done the brakes. I put new standard disc and pads on it and painted the calipers. That's about the extent I've got on it. Just to make it look nice.
We'll hopefully catch up at tracks, and man, it'd be good to get catch up with you face to face.
Definitely.
One thing I do want to say to everybody who's watching, it makes a huge difference to us as a channel to have people's interaction on the videos, and especially the thumbs up, because it all helps with the YouTube algorithms and getting the video out in front of more people. So if everybody who's watching can give us a thumbs up, and if you aren't already subscribed, give us a subscribe as well. That'd be great. And check out all links in description, and go give Ryan a follow, and support his business. Let's all help each other out. So huge thanks, Ryan, for joining me. And
no worries, man.
No doubt we'll catch up very soon, and everybody will be able to see your updates on your builds.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
No worries, dude.
Lovely. I'll catch you in a bit.
Cheers for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.